Hello and welcome to our chair yoga class for energizing the body and the mind. This is our third lesson of this class, and so I hope that you are able to use all three lessons either for a once a week practice, or maybe you're even doing it 2 or 3 times a week. Just a nice way to energize the body and the mind, get the blood pumping, get the prana, the life force in our body, pumping as well. Now for today's class, we are going to need a couple of supplies. I have a yoga strap here. You could just as easily use a bathrobe tie, an old necktie, a long towel, a soft piece of rope, anything that you have that will help us just get a little extra length in the arms for some of our poses, or also get a little deeper into some of the poses. So that's where the yoga strap comes in handy. I'd also like for you to be ready with an extra chair. We are going to do some double chair yoga poses toward the end of the practice. So I just want you to be prepared for that, and always have a glass of water beside you. If you don't care for water, just something refreshing to hydrate the body. So when we're ready, as always, we're sitting tall on the chair. The difference between sitting up tall and sitting up cozy, you see where the difference is. Our chest is closed. We don't have as much breathing capacity, room for the lungs. So we sit up tall, we roll the shoulders back. I always start every single practice by rolling the shoulders back, because it's a wonderful way to undo some of the unintentional slouching we may have been doing earlier in our day. And it just feels so good. I'm hoping it's feeling good for you too. If you're working through arthritis in the shoulders, maybe just lift and then lower down, relaxing them. So throughout today's practice, I am going to be offering some flowing movements. Now, flowing movements naturally are going to warm up the body in a good, positive way. But if you are ever getting too warm and you're not feeling well, maybe nauseous or dizzy, definitely just take a break. We're not going to get that far ahead that you won't be able to jump back in. We start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, as long as those passageways are clear. And if they're not clear, let's just breathe as comfortably as we can. And then we'll roll the shoulders back and down. Sitting up tall, engaging our abdominal muscles, connecting both feet flat to the ground here. And you're welcome to close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Bringing our focus to the sound of our healthy breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And as we bring our focus to our breath, we allow all other thoughts to fade away. And as we hear the buzz of activity around us, the hum of a nearby lawnmower, the sound of the birds greeting us, we're reminded that that same energy buzzing inside of each of them is the same wonderful energy buzzing inside of each of us. Each inhale, we're breathing peace and calm into the body and the mind. And with each exhale, we're letting go of competition and judgment, even when the judgment is directed toward ourselves. And we're also letting go of expectations today, allowing ourselves to see what these healthy bodies can do when given the opportunity. take a few more cleansing, centering breaths. And when we're ready, let's slowly open our eyes. Now we're going to begin the practice as we did last time with our Surya Vedana, which is our right nostril breathing. And this particular pranayama breathing exercise naturally is going to energize the body and the mind. So let's start off with that. Let's bring our right hand right in front of our face. The palm is facing us. Let's take our middle 3 fingers and point them downward. So we have our thumb and our pinky finger extended. Now let's take the pinky finger and gently close the left nostril. And we're going to keep the right nostril open and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. More deep breaths. Now when we're ready, relax that hand down. Again, still sitting up nice and tall here. Let's inhale. On the exhale, let's gently turn the head over to one side, looking over the shoulder. And on the inhale, let's look up on a slight diagonal as a bird looks out of its nest. On the exhale, we come back to the chin, parallel to the shoulder, and then all the way back to the center. Let's inhale. Exhale, turning the head to look over the opposite shoulder. Inhaling, looking up on a very slight diagonal. Exhale, back, chin parallel to the shoulder. Inhaling back to the center. Let's do it again. Exhale, turning the head gently. Inhale, lifting on a slight diagonal. Exhaling, coming back down. Inhaling back to the center. Exhaling as we turn. Inhale with a little lift. Exhaling back to parallel. Inhaling to the center. One more time through the pattern on each side. Gently, gently stretching through the neck. Now let's bring both hands together at heart center. Inhale as you reach each arm up and away. Exhaling back to the center. So one arm reaches up, pressing away the sky. The other arm reaches down, pressing away the earth. Exhale back to the heart. Inhale, reaching, reaching. Exhale, coming back to heart center. Still stretching out through the shoulders here, lubricating those joints. Opening up through the chest. Enjoying this wonderful stretch for the upper chest area. One more time on each side. Now let's inhale, bringing the hands behind us like you're holding onto a beach ball for chest expansion, and then exhale, rounding with a tree hug. Inhaling, pressing forward, exhale, rounding through the spine. One more time in each direction, lubricating the spine. Now let's come back to our neutral position. Let's hold on to the chair with our left hand. Inhale the right arm over with a little side bend, then exhale down. Inhale over to the other side, exhaling down. So a gentle side bend flow. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Another nice way to lubricate the spine. Remember, every day, ideally, we're moving our spine in 3 different directions that can help lubricate and stretch things out. We want to move the spine forward and back, as we just did for chest expansion and tree hug. We want to move it side to side, as we're doing now. And in the next pose, we're going to twist side to side. So the idea is, if we do that every day, whether we're practicing yoga or not, we're going to keep our spine lubricated and nice and healthy and flexible. And there's an old saying that goes like this: we're only as young as the health of our spine. So even if we've got some spinal concerns right now, all is not lost. We can do these little things each day for some good TLC for the spine. Now let's come all the way back to a neutral position. Relax the shoulders, back and down. Let's inhale the left arm up to shoulder height, finding our focus at the tips of our fingers as we gently twist. Inhaling back to the center and exhaling down. Let's inhale up with the right arm. Exhale, gently twisting. Inhaling back to the center, and we exhale down. These twisting poses allow us to get good lubricants into all the nooks and crannies of the spine. Let's use one more twist on each side. Let's roll the shoulders back. Inhale, engaging the abdominals, and extend long through one leg. then exhale back down. Inhale, stretching out the other leg, exhaling back. Now again, I've said it before, on the first few leg extensions of my practice, I always hear like a little something in the knees. But after a couple of these leg extensions, that seems to go away. Now, if you're hearing little things coming from the bones, as long as there's no discomfort, it's really just air being displaced at the joint. If I was feeling any discomfort, I would definitely ease back, try to figure out what's going on there. In our practice, we are never trying to move through an uncomfortable spot. We always ease back, being kind to the body. Now, if you want to add the opposite arm reaching up at the same time, that turns this leg extension flow into spinal balance flow. We're keeping our abdominals engaged, sitting up nice and tall on the chair rather than being relaxed and cozy. And with these flowing movements, again, we may be feeling our body temperature rising in a good positive way. But if you're ever getting too hot, or there's nausea or dizziness, or if you feel like you're having cold sweats, definitely ease back, take a drink. Those could be signs that we're overexerting ourselves, and we don't want to do that either. One more time on each side. Now let's plant both feet flat on the ground once again. Let's reach both arms down on the diagonal, palms forward, getting ready for airplane flow. We engage the abdominals, inhaling, and on the exhale, we hinge forward, wings behind us, palms still face downward. On the inhale, lift, 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 and bring those arms in front of you. Exhaling as we hinge. Inhaling and rising tall. One more time using airplane flow. Now let's reach the arms out to the side. Inhale, arms overhead, and swan dive to a forward fold. On the inhale, let's lift to monkey with a 45-degree angle for the back. Exhaling down to forward fold. Rising tall as we inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling and rising, exhaling, forward fold, inhale, rise up tall. Two more times using our seated sun salutation here. Now this time when you bring your arms down, let's pick up one leg and step it over to the side, opening the hip. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, stepping over. Exhale, bring it back to the center. Think about maybe stepping over some flowers in the garden, or stepping over little pepper plants that you may have planted this year. So step over them. One more more time on each side, opening the hips as far as is comfortable for you. Now let's come on back, 2 feet flat on the ground, sitting up tall. Let's return to the sun salutations, building a little more heat. Inhaling, lifting to monkey. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling and rising. Exhale, forward fold. Times using our sun salutations, sending good fluids down around to the lower back, sending good fluids really out to all parts of the physical body here, and feeling that good warmth that's going to help get those muscles a little more flexible for us today. Last time through. Now let's bring those arms all the way back and down. Go ahead and grab a drink if you have one ready out here. Definitely want to stay hydrated during our practice. Okay. Now we're going to continue with some flowing movements here using the big muscle systems in the arms and the legs. If you'd like to stay seated for this part, here's what we need to do. Scoot a little forward on your chair and take a wide stance so that we're opening up the hips naturally. If you'd like to stand beside your chair, let's go ahead and do that. Again, we too are going to take a wide stance here. We're going to squat down through the knees. And we make sure we can see our toes down there. So that tells me I've got a good wide base here. So on the next inhale, let's reach the arms overhead to a star pose, everybody. Exhaling, bringing those elbows in toward our ribs. Moonflower flow. Think about reaching our long arms out to their longest length, as if they could touch the corners of the sky. Couple more of these moonflowers and then we'll make another change. Now let's hinge forward with a little bend in the knees if you're standing, gathering, and then inhale. We use a nice flat back here, whether we're seated or standing. Again, sending some good fluids down to the lower back here with our sunflower hinges. One more time with the sunflower hinge. Now let's use prayer flow. Bring those hands together overhead, palms touch. Exhale the hands to heart center. Everyone's keeping those abdominals engaged as we work through these flowing movements. Standing folks are going to find it especially helpful because it helps maintain our balance here as well. One more prayer flow. Now let's turn this into side angle flow. Let's bend through one knee and lean over to a side bend. Inhale as you rise. Exhale over to the other side. Inhaling up. So it's a little lunge here if you're standing, and it's a side bend for all of us, whether we're seated or standing. Remember, if you're standing for these side bends, your arm is going to just come down and barely rest on your thigh, like a flower, or like a bumblebee, I should say, landing on a flower. One more time on each side, feeling that good heat we've been building in the body. Now let's bring both arms all the way down, roll the shoulders back. Let's walk our feet to hips distance apart here. And let's roll those shoulders back and down. Now let's reach both arms down on the diagonal here. Let's inhale tall, engaging our abdominals. And on the exhale, let's hinge forward with a flat back for airplane. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what we're doing here. We want to keep our chest about parallel to the ground. Hopefully you can see me through my flowers here. If not, just think about making yourself as an upside down L shape here. So from your crown of your head all the way down to your hips, we have one part of the L, and from the hips down to the feet, we have our other part. Straightening the legs as much as is comfortable for us. Let's take 3 more breaths. Really reaching out through those arms. And then on the inhale, we rise up with overhead arms and bring those hands to heart center. Now let's grab our yoga strap. We're going to do some chest expansion work, which is going to help us open up the chest a little bit more. And it's also going to help us with a forward fold option that we might use as well. So let's grab onto the strap. We're going to hold on to it behind us here. And I'm just folding my strap in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. Rolling the shoulders back and down, standing tall. Now, I'm a little bit too close to my chair, so I'm afraid when I hinge forward, there could be a collision. So I'm going to back up to make sure that there's no problems. Let's roll the shoulders back. As I'm standing tall, I can feel how open we are through the chest. And I might even choose to reach those arms a little further away from the body to get a little deeper in that chest expansion pose. Now you're welcome to stand tall for this next part, or we can add a hinge. Now I do want to make a note here. When we hinge forward into this forward fold, if you're someone who's working through glaucoma, vertigo, or uncontrolled high blood pressure, then I want you to keep your chest parallel to the ground, just as we did for airplane. If those are not a concern for you, you're welcome to fold forward as far as you like. So let's inhale, engaging our abdominals. On the exhale, if you're standing, put a little bend in the knees first as we hinge forward. Now I might choose to keep reaching my arms further from the body, but it's always optional. And if you're standing, let's try to straighten those legs as much as is comfortable today. The head and neck hang loose at the end of the spine. Let's take 4 more breaths. Then we'll swan dive the arms down to a forward fold. Just drop off your strap on the ground beside you. Again, you might try to straighten those legs out a little more. Really enjoying this back of the leg stretch from our heels all the way up through the hips and the lower back. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Now let's put a tiny bend in the knees. Maybe grab your strap to save you an extra trip. Rising up on the inhale, and then lower those arms all the way back and down. Now let's go ahead and put our strap just over to the side, and we're going to turn our seat cushion away from us. So I'm going to make sure that all 4 legs of my chair are on the mat. It's going to prevent me from sliding around here. So as I'm standing here, I want to make sure that my feet are hips distance apart. And if I look at my chair legs, it's not far from the chair legs distance apart either. It's a good sturdy base. So what I'm going to do here is hold on to my chair for a moment. I'm just going to step on back and stretch back into downward dog. So again, we're creating that upside down L shape with the body, just like we did in airplane. Both feet are flat on the ground here. Feeling that luxurious stretch for the spine. Straightening the legs as much as is comfortable today, but I can certainly bend the knees if I need to and still get that wonderful stretch for the spine. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then we'll walk up to the back of our chair. Now, standing behind the chair with our feet hips distance apart, let's take our left foot and step as far back as we can with our whole left foot on the ground. And I like to angle my left toes just slightly outward as if they're pointing to the 1 o'clock, if there was a clock right in front of me. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm turning my hips to face forward for Warrior 1. I've got a good bend in my right knee, but I can still see my toes down there. I can have hands on hips. I could have one hand on the chair for stability help, or 2 hands. This is Warrior 1. Looking straight ahead into the distance, relaxing the forehead, eyes, cheeks, and mouth. And notice we have our shoulders right above the hips. I'm not leaning too far forward or too far back. So stack up the shoulders right above the hips. Sometimes it's hard for us to see when we don't have an extra pair of eyes looking at us, especially if you're following along with this video today. So if you can, get into Warrior 1 and maybe have someone take a picture of you so you can see where you are compared to where we think we are, because sometimes it can be a little different. Now let's put our right hand on the chair top. Let's keep our right foot where it is, but pick up the left foot and step back into Warrior 2. So now my right toes are still facing my chair. My left foot is now parallel to the back of the mat, and it's like I'm standing on a big balance beam or on a surfboard. Let's reach out through both arms for Warrior 2, reaching the arms out to their longest length. Now, if I want to hold my chair, I'm going to hold on to it with my right hand and just look out over my right shoulder. So there's always options. Warrior 2, reach those arms out long. Keep that good bend in your right knee. Engage the abdominals. Always invite them to the party because they help with your balance and they also help to support your strong back. Two more breaths. Warrior 2. Now let's put our right hand on the chair top. Lean in. So bend your right knee just a little bit more so you can lean in for side angle. And let's be mindful to rotate that left shoulder back so the chest is wide open for us rather than being closed. Keep everything open. And engage these trunk muscles here, gang. Remember, ideally, The right hand is just resting on the chair top. All of the work is happening through our trunk here. Let's take 3 more breaths in side angle. Now when you're ready, come all the way back to warrior 2. Relax the arms, step all the way up to the back of the chair. Now if you'd like, you can take another downward dog pose here, or we can add a little more. So I'm going to add a plank flow here this time around. So I'm going to hold on to my chair. I'm going to step on back to downward dog, lengthening through the spine. Take a couple breaths. Now when I'm ready, on the next inhale, I'm going to come forward into a plank. Now I feel my chair slipping a little bit, so I'm going to make an adjustment. Let's try that again. Let's inhale forward, shoulders in line with the wrist, engage your abdominal muscles. Then reach back with the tailbone. Inhaling forward, pulling the abdominals toward the chair, exhaling back. Now this is a way to spice up your practice, because this is a quick heat builder. But again, maybe you're not looking to build heat. That's okay. Use the options as you'd like. 2 more breaths here. Shoo-wee. All right, come on back to downward dog. Maybe we're going to wag the dog's tail gently side to side, just stretching out the back again. Now when you're ready, step on up to the back of the chair. We're going to do all of those warrior poses on the other side of the body now. So let's plant the feet, hips distance apart. This time we take the right foot as far back as we can step with the whole right foot on the ground. And I've already angled out my right toes toward the 11 o'clock on a timepiece. Keeping a good bend in my left knee. And if I look at my chair legs, the right foot is in line with the right chair leg, and the left foot, even though it's far back, actually I should be saying it the other way, the right foot, even though it's far back, is still in line with the chair leg as well. So let's roll the shoulders back, standing tall from the hips through the shoulders all the way up through the crown. This time I'm going to use cactus arms for warrior 1, but you can use whatever option you like. Remember, you can always hang on to your chair. Everyone's engaging the abdominals. Relax through the shoulders. Now when you're ready, let's get ready for warrior 2. Let's put our left hand on the chair top. Let's leave the left foot where it is. Pick up the right foot, stepping back. Finding warrior 2, which is going to open up the hips in an opening rotation. Looking out over the left middle finger or the left shoulder if you're holding on to the chair. Engaging our abdominals. Remember, relax through the shoulders, even when you're working hard here. Let's not wear them up here like earrings. Let's relax. Warrior 2. Two more breaths. Now let's gently rest our left hand on the chair top. Lean in for side angle with a little more bend in the knee here. Rotate that right shoulder back, keeping the chest open. when you're ready, use those strong trunk muscles to come back to warrior two. Relax those arms and come all the way back to the back of the chair. Again, let's step it on back for downward dog. Engaging our abdominals. You can keep everything still and stay here in down dog or add your plank flow. It's yogi's choice. Now when you're ready, let's walk ourselves all the way up to the back of the chair, rolling the shoulders back and down. All right, so now I'd like you to grab your strap once again. So we're gonna stand beside our chair for this next pose. The next pose is called Dancer, and it can be a challenging standing balance pose. So we're gonna use our strap for the pose, and I'm gonna show you lots of different options. So standing beside my chair, I'm gonna take the leg that's closest to it, and that is gonna stay here on the ground. I'm gonna take my strap and put it across the shin of my other leg. So for us, facing you right now, this would be my left leg is gonna have the strap across the front of the shin. So when I look down, I can see this burst of orange color at the front of my shin, okay? And I'm holding on to my strap in both hands, or excuse me, in one hand with both ends holding there, okay? So we're gonna keep our right foot connected to the ground. I'm gonna pick up my left foot and I'm gonna just take up any slack that I find there. So from the side, it looks like this. I'm bending my knee as comfortably as I can. So maybe it's a little bend for you, maybe it's a deep bend. It's totally up to you, okay? So now let's face forward here. I'm still holding on to my chair cushion here. So I'm gonna show you and then you can make some choices on how you want to do this. If you want to hold the chair, you can inhale tall, engage the abdominals, and just stay right here. Or you can add a hinge forward where we bring our chest about parallel to the ground. So that's what it'll look like if you're using the chair. If you're not using the chair and you're still just standing beside it, you could lift up your free hand straight up to the sky. Inhale and engage the abdominals, and then hinge forward. From there, bringing our chest about parallel to the ground. So let's decide how we want to do this one. Whether we hang on to the chair or not, it's up to you. Let's all inhale, engaging our abdominals, and when you're ready, tilt forward from the hips, hinging. Now that left hip may want to start to go out to the side as a dog approaches a hydrant, but let's try to keep that left thigh parallel to the ground here for Dancer. And if you're not sure what we're doing because you can't see behind me, I'll turn to the side here. When we hinge forward, it's going to look a little bit like this, flexing our left foot that's in the air behind us. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then come all the way back upright. Now I think the easiest way for us to get to the other side of the body is just to turn around and face the other direction. So let's do that. Let's turn around. Just listen to me if you can't see me on the video. Let's put the strap across the middle of our other foot. So remember, it's the leg that's furthest away from your chair. Let's keep the leg closest to our chair, grounded. Pick up the leg that has the strap around it. Take up the slack. Now, if you're able to reach your ankle and you'd rather not use a strap, feel free to do so. Standing up tall, everybody. Inhale, engaging the abdominals. Flex the foot that's in the air. And then on the exhale, we hinge forward from the hips. Whether you're holding the chair or not, we've got options. Engage the abdominals. Let's take 3 more breaths in Dancer. And then rise up tall when you're ready. Take that strap off the leg. Go ahead and just set that strap down on your chair. Now, let's take a little break here. Let's roll the shoulders back and down. Let's bring our left arm across the front of the chest. Use your right arm to hug it in close to the body. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Becky, that's a tough one. And it is, I agree. But I wanted to just show us that step by step, taking little options along the way, we can do hard things. And I think sometimes it can feel so empowering to know that we are doing hard things. But you know what? Let's let go of judgment. If today was not the day that you found every part of Dancer that you wanted to try, that's okay. You'll just say, okay, today's my first day with Dancer. Now I know what it's all about, and I'm going to keep practicing. That's all you have to do. Just be kind to yourself. Now relax your half knot. Bring that right arm across the chest. Hug it in close to the body. Now let's relax our half knot, bringing both hands together at heart center. You can be standing or seated for this next final twist. Let's inhale, engaging the abdominals, rising up to our tallest height. On the exhale, keep the hips as forward as you can as we start to twist to one side of our mat. Starting that twist below the navel, feeling it rising up through the abdomen, maybe on up into the upper chest. Just only twist as far as you're comfortable going today. That's all that I'm asking for. Gently, gently, let's come on back to the center. Let's try that same twist on the other side. Inhale, engaging the abdominals, zip them up, and then on the exhale, gently, gently twisting, twisting toward the other side. Now we've waited till this part in the practice to use a deep twist like this. So I'm hoping that you're twisting deeply and it's feeling good. If it's not, certainly just ease back. Now gently, gently, let's unwind. Let's relax through the arms. Inhale, reach one arm as high as you can reach, and let's take a side bend, holding it here, but still breathing rather than holding the breath. Now on the next inhale, use your trunk. Lift, 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 lift. Exhale that arm down. Let's inhale the other arm up. Reach as high as you can to lengthen the spine, and then come into that side bend. Very nice. I'm hoping your practice is making you feel like that too. Now when we're ready, let's lift, 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 lift with the trunk. Relax those arms down. Let's take both arms overhead and let's bring it on down to a forward fold. Inhale, bending through the knees if you're standing. Hinging forward as far as is comfortable. Remembering to be mindful not to put the head below the heart if you're working through glaucoma, vertigo, or uncontrolled high blood pressure. Straightening those legs out as much as is comfortable today. You might notice that you're able to straighten them out a little more this far into our practice. Let's take 4 more breaths. Now let's put a little bend in the knees. Gently, gently, rising tall. And let's bring those arms all the way down. Now let's have a seat. Grab your strap and take a drink if you brought one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, grab a drink here. So we're going to do a couple of poses here, just seated on the one chair, and then in a moment I'll bring my other chair over. So first, let's put the strap across the middle of either foot. Make sure you're sitting tall on your chair and your other foot is grounded, connected to the ground for stability. Let's extend that long leg out in front of us, straightening the leg as much as is comfortable. On the inhale, let's reach it out to the side, and on the exhale, bring it in. Now, if you're able to reach all the way out and touch your toes and you want to hook onto your big toes with your peace fingers, you're certainly welcome to do that here rather than use a strap. The thing that we're looking for is trying to straighten the leg as much as is comfortable, and then of course opening out to the side to open that hip as much as is comfortable. Just a couple more times. Now let's switch over to the other leg. Let's just move that loop over to the other foot. Inhale, sitting up tall, engaging our abdominals. Taking that leg out to the side. On the exhale, we bring it in. Couple more times, out to the side. This is our half wide leg straddle flow. All right, now bring it back in. Let's go ahead and just put that strap over to the side. We're done using it. And then I'm going to set up my 2 chairs here for my double chair yoga. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn my seat cushion of this first chair toward the length of my mat. And then I'm going to bring my other chair in and set it right in front of me so that that seat cushion is facing me now as well. It's ideal if you can use 2 of the same chairs, or at least 2 chairs that have the same seat level. Just makes it a little easier for you. So here, what we're going to do with this new chair facing me, I'm going to extend both legs long and rest them on my facing seat cushion here. So the cool thing about doing double chair yoga is it brings the floor up to our level. So I'm doing everything I could do on the ground level. Now I'm doing it with 2 chairs. So I think it'll be kind of a fun addition to our practice. So with both feet long in front of me, I'm going to flex my feet. So think about wearing genie shoes with the little curled toes. That's what your feet should look like, kind of flexing the feet so that you're stretching out all the muscles under your legs. Now remember, just because you have 2 chairs doesn't mean we can get cozy here. Let's sit up tall, engage the abdominals. We're going to inhale And on the exhale, I'm gonna fold forward and just walk my hands down my legs. Now you can rest your hands anywhere you like in this forward fold. If you want to use your peace fingers to grab onto your big toes, you're welcome to do that. But I want everybody to think about this. Spinal alignment is always paramount. So from your hips to your shoulders and out through the crown of the head, we should be in one long line as best we can to keep our spine comfortable and healthy and of course safe. So every time I inhale here, I might think about lengthening through the spine, and on the exhale, I might hinge a little deeper into the pose, but it's all up to you. Let's take 6 breaths here. Now when you're ready with strong abdominals, lift, 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 walk yourself back up. Now the next pose is going to be butterfly, and that's going to require us probably to bring our facing seat toward us. So I'm going to take my feet down to the ground here, slide it forward. We're going to play around with how far or how close it needs to be. So I'm going to put both feet on their sides, and I'm going to try to touch the soles of my feet together for this butterfly pose. And ideally, I would slide my heels in as close to the groin as is comfortable for me, for my knees and my hips. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall here, engaging our abdominals. So let's just use butterfly A, which is our upright butterfly. Keeping the chest open, engaging our abdominals, feeling the hips gently opening. Now, if you want to add a hinge forward to get a little deeper into those hips, let's inhale, engaging. And on the exhale, we hinge forward from the hips. The further that we hinge forward from the hips, the more deep hip socket work we're going to get through the hips and the inner thighs. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now on the inhale, let's lift ourselves back upright. Now, I'm going to have to move my chair again. So I put both feet flat on the ground. I'm going to slide this chair away, and we're going to use a seated spinal twist that requires one long leg and the other leg to be bent. So I'm going to just stretch out my one long leg here. So I have enough room here on my seat cushion. So what I'm going to do here, and let's see how this is going to work in all actuality. I think I'm going to slide it in a little closer. So I'm kind of just barely touching the seat back here, but I could if I point through the toes. I'm going to still flex the foot of the foot that's long in front of me. So just for the sake of easiness for all of us, why don't we say that the right leg is long and extended on the chair in front of us. Then we're going to pick up the left leg, keeping it bent. I'm going to pick it up and rest it over to the other side of my right leg. So my left foot is now resting on the outer edge of my right leg. Okay? So I'm going to inhale, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to lift my left arm up high, and I'm going to windmill it down. I'm running into my honeysuckle here, but I'm going to windmill it down so that my chest and my belly is turning toward my bent knee. And I'm going to hold on to the chair here. Then I'm going to inhale my right arm up, reaching as high as I can, and bend at the elbow. And I can rest my elbow just outside of that bent right knee, or I can use the palm of my hand to hold on to the outside of my right knee. So basically we're sitting up tall and we're twisting through the trunk. Any version that you want to use. So the belly is twisting toward my bent knee. And again, you could be on the ground doing this same pose, but the double chair allows us to do it in this high seated position. Sitting up tall, let's take 2 more breaths. Now gently, gently, let's unwind the trunk. Let's switch sides. So now I've got my left leg long on the chair. I'm gonna bend the right leg, pick it up, take it over the left leg. So I'm just on the other side of my left leg now. I'm gonna inhale. This should give me more of a windmill. And then on the exhale, I'm gonna bring it down. Inhale, the left arm up, reach high, exhale. Maybe you're gonna put that elbow outside of the right knee, or maybe you're gonna hold on with the palm of your hand. So it just helps us to get a little deeper into this twist. Let's inhale, sitting up tall. And with every exhale, you might twist a little more, but only if it's comfortable to do so. Now gently, gently, let's unwind, coming all the way back to the center. Now we're gonna do Shavasana using 2 chairs today. So this is where you get to sit all the way back in your chair and you get to relax. So lean into the back of the chair, gang. I'm gonna get my bells ready so that when we're done with Shavasana, I will ring my bells to let you know. So sit all the way back in your chair. Stretch out those long legs in front of you and just let your feet fall apart in relaxation. It's a wonderful way just to relax the body. Again, we don't have to get down on the ground, but we get all the benefits of being on the ground by stretching out here. Again, if you're someone who likes to lay down on the ground level in a traditional corpse pose, which is Shavasana, you're welcome to move both these chairs off the mat and lay it on down, okay? So when you're ready, let's close our eyes if we feel comfortable doing so. The only thing we need to do in Shavasana is to be still and quiet and simply observe. If we have little thoughts come into the mind, briefly acknowledge them, then let them float on by like a cloud in the sky. Relaxing the forehead, eyes, cheeks and mouth. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Allowing these 2 chairs to support us as we find rest and relaxation here in Shavasana. Now when we're ready, let's start to invite little movements back into the fingers and the toes, gently waking them. Starting to breathe a little more deeply, breathing in all of the goodness of our physical practice, including this wonderful mindful relaxation that always wraps it up. And we find our hearts are shining with gratitude, grateful for this energizing practice that sends good fluids to all parts of the physical body, but also makes us feel energized and mentally just more creative and just on target and focused. And we're always grateful for this healthy body and this healthy breath that carries us everywhere we go. Now, when we're ready, with our eyes still closed, if you're lying down on the ground, let's bend the knees, hugging them in gently toward the chest, maybe rocking them gently side to side, massaging the back. If you're here seated on this double chair formation, you can certainly, with your eyes closed, try to bring those legs down to the ground. Now, for those who are lying down, let's go ahead and roll the body over to one side on the ground here as all of us are breathing in the peace, the calm, and the focus of our practice. And we're exhaling all of the warmth, kindness, encouragement, and love that we have for each other, for the world around us, and for ourselves. And when we're ready with our eyes still closed, let's bring the palms together at heart center and gently rub them to build a little heat there. And let's use our warm hands to gently cover our closed eyes. And that good heat that we find there is inviting our eyes to slowly open, and we bring our hands to rest upon our laps. Clear minds, kind words, compassionate hearts. Namaste.